What's up? What's up? Get some things set up here. We'll get started in a second. In about 5 minutes. Let everybody come on in. And if you want to call in tonight, make sure you call in. Join the conversation. Man or women, it don't matter. I'm gonna have my boy Mike in the building tonight. Hopefully my boy Skylar, Will, Chris, Catherine, Mo. I need help from my boy Big Rich. I don't know why my boy Big Rich been there. He need to come on in. I need that man's knowledge tonight. Say something in the chat. Yeah, say something in the chat, y'all. You know, I know y'all coming in. Say where y'all from. Topic tonight is men are the gatekeepers of marriage. Women are the gatekeepers of sex. It's a hot topic. Find out what's going on. Call in. The call in is in the chat. Yeah, say something in the chat, y'all. What's up? What's up? Tapping in from Vegas. What's going on? Vegas in the house. It's about what, 4:30 in Vegas? That's cool. I appreciate you being here. There we go. What's up, Mike? We're going to get started in a second, brother.
All right.
Started a couple more streams. You said what?
I said, what's the topic going to be on, bro?
Men are the gatekeepers of marriage, and women are the gatekeepers of sex. So how you feel about that?
Man, I feel like it's going to be a really, really big thing because a lot of women want to get married because of the benefits. Very rarely women want to get married to put in that work. There are some honorable ones out there. And then also, you know, with the men being the gatekeepers of marriage, the women have to remember, you know, being that they're the gatekeepers of sex, sex is good for everybody, but it's not for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because of the fact that whoever you're opening up your legs to will ultimately determine who you have that spiritual, bodily bond with. And, you know, there's also kids involved and shit like that. So they got to think along that line of, you know, who they're really dealing with to really get to know that person before and after that mask comes forth.
So what would you say to get a new lady to call in tonight? I know we usually get about 3 a night when we do these topics. What would you say to convince a new lady to step on up and call in tonight?
Man, we definitely need more ladies to call in. You know what I'm saying? Because we need more voices heard all around, especially the women. You know, I think that makes it all worthwhile. We get to hear from both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, be honest, it is a man's channel mostly, you know, but I do got a lot of women over here, but to better understand each other is to get more views and more interaction between a man and a woman. You know what I mean? So it's best to find out people that's dating in real time, what they're going through, what's going on so we can actually get real solutions with real answers instead of just be in a tug of war with this dating pool out here. So I think it's very, I appreciate Catherine. I appreciate Chris. I appreciate Mo. I appreciate my girl trying to white call in, but sometimes we need to hear some new voices, you know what I'm saying? Here and there, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens tonight. So I know my girl Catherine said she gonna call in. Yeah, I'm trying to get this one thing set up. So how you like last week's live streams?
Man, that shit was fire. Main reason why is because we got to hear from both sides. We got into a debate that it was a positive debate, and both sides actually correlated with one another into seeing the whole situation for what it was, and trying to find a solution to the problem to see how we could better improve on that to our benefit.
Facts. That's all day. We allowed to contact you off YouTube. Yeah, you can hit me up off YouTube, Mo, but you need to go and jump in, call in, Mo. But usually we'll talk about that later, Mo. But yeah, that's what I have consultations for, when people can hit me up on YouTube and talk to me about their stuff. Coach Warren do it, GMB, a lot of content creators on top of doing the videos is to give a man's perspective or some insight on self-improvement, dating, or whatever it is. I do about 7-8 consultations a week. I'm not real heavy because I got a busy schedule, but I definitely have people come in, and find my channel, find my Instagram, DM me, or they find my YouTube. On my Yahoo, and email me, and then they contact me to find out, tell me what's going on in their personal life, and I give them the best advice. I'm like I said, I ain't no therapist, but at the same time, I live life. I'll be 40 in July, and I've been married. My parents been married. My grandparents was married over 6 years from my granddaddy passed away. So I can give the best advice I can give you about how to move. I do got my credit together. I'm a homeowner. I know how to put my money right. So if it coming in, I'm always work on my health. So a lot of things where people want to be positive in life, I feel like I got the experience to touch on things. So yeah, if you want to contact me after YouTube, you definitely set up a session by DMing me or hit me up on Instagram or something. I ain't gonna tell everybody text the number you see. Then I get a whole bunch of texts. All right. So I think I'm gonna wait till Catherine call, and then we'll get started on the topic. I told Mo she can go ahead and start calling too. So, and if anybody else want to call, go and call too before we get started. It's a little, because I think women need to understand how men feel to qualify you as in the wife pool. Because let's just be honest, we got 3 different pools that we might have as men. What's up, Mo?
Hey, I definitely have a question.
Oh, shoot. You gotta turn your YouTube down, though.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I had to turn it down. Okay, I got it down.
She wanted to hear herself tonight. What's your question, Mo? What you got going on?
Well, Haystack came is Catherine there? Hey, Catherine, I don't know. Is Catherine
Nah,
there?
she ain't in yet. She should be in a second. But
I'm glad you're talking about this because I wanted to ask about the comment made a week, if not last week, 2 weeks. I think maybe last week when you said you don't want to what was that word? Basically, if a man didn't want to marry this woman for whatever reason, you don't want to do what he wouldn't do or something because they didn't choose to marry her. And I'm thinking, what about if she was proposed to, but she just didn't want to marry him?
Yeah, you're right. We, by society, or just society period, men are the ones that control marriage. Women control sex. And if she controls, if he asks, is you got the control to say yes or no. And a lot of times, it's up to you. And then 80% of relationships or marriages are fouled by women in today's society. So a lot of times that 20% that men that notice, that do have the understanding of marriage, they scared to get married because they look like women are leaving us. If you look at the real percents, the guys that actually look at the real percents or like might know this statistic, every logical man that thinks about marriage or is a catch, they know this percent. So sometimes this makes a man be like, okay, I'm a gatekeeper of marriage, but women are leaving us. But you're right. Anytime we ask, don't mean y'all gonna accept. Just like you're not gonna lay down for any man that you feel like, that you are the gatekeepers of sex. Sex can't happen unless a woman wants to, by the law. Now, if it's something, forceful, we already know people go to jail for that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you got anything to add on that, Mike?
That's a very big thing though too. But a lot of men also look at too when they're afraid. We think further along ahead would not spur the moment. At least I know I'm not. As far as marriage, I think further ahead along the lines of, okay, it's easy to get married. What about the aftermath when it comes down to divorce? Did it end on equal time, or did it end on a really, really rocky ship? And that leaves a lot of people in shambles, and I believe that's another reason why a lot of men don't want to get married, or at least not anymore. So it's a lot of factors in that come into play. It's like a lot of women, if a lot of men, depending on what kind of men they dated with recently in the past, the majority of the chicks that have been or went through some kind of traumatic experience or a really bad relationship.
My bad, Mike.
Maybe a bad past experience. So that falls a factor into it too.
Yeah. A lot of times people don't understand, like, what, that's why we here. Men gonna tell their side of the story of what control we have, and women get to say what side they got. So, it is what it is. Catherine in the building, what's going on?
Hey, I'm here. What's up? Hey, Catherine. Hey, how y'all doing?
What up?
You want to talk about anything on the topic before we get started, Catherine? Because I know you've been married before.
No, I'm just going on with because I'm jumping in a little late. I meant to call just a couple of minutes ago, so let's go ahead. Let me pick up with y'all here in a second.
All right. Well, we ain't get started just yet, but we were just talking about the just a man has to control and asking a woman for the hand in marriage, and woman have to accept, and just like a woman has control when you have sex. So basically we were just talking about the variations of both powers of each party. So
Oh, okay.
So Mike, you got anything you want to add before I get started?
Nah, go ahead, bro.
All right. So I'm gonna start with the ladies first. First thing I'm gonna ask you is, how do you disqualify a man, period, that you won't talk to at all? Before you even, like, when the guy's trying to talk to you, or he do get to talk to you, when do you know, like, this juice ain't really worth the squeeze? I'm good. Like, what qualities he have to show you that you just be turned off? I'll start with Catherine.
Okay, I'm sorry. What was the question again? You want me to tell you?
Okay, so the first question for the ladies is, how do you disqualify a man from, you dealing with him, period? Like, even if you, maybe first initial meeting or after you get to know him, you're like, nah, I'm good. I'm not even open my legs to this dude or nothing. No type of intimacy or nothing. So how do you filter? How do you realize that he's not, that you won't even give your body to this type of guy?
If I meet a guy and initially all he really, like our conversation, everything we talk to lead back to sex and, us getting together or him talking about my body or, my looks or things he like to do in the bedroom, what he's willing, if that's the initial conversation, then I'm not really going to be feeling that person. I'm just going to be like, what I see what this person is about, he's just ready to jump in the bed with me. That's it. He's not really trying to get to know me, try to find out about me every time, because you will know how the conversation leads. They'll might ask you some other questions, but they'll come back and start asking, get back on sex. So it always lead back to that in some kind of way. And I've had that happen a lot. So that's how I wean between the man that I'm going to deal with and the man that I won't.
For real. Okay. What about you, Mo? How you disqualify dudes if they come up with the approach, or once you get to start knowing them, how you be like, nah, I'm good, or what they have to do for you to be like, nah, I'm cool?
What will make me say, nah, I'm cool is the way they communicate. If they tell me they live with 20 other people, if they don't have a job, and I'm saying this because I do have these things. Well, I'll just say income stream, like if you, and as long, like if you're an entrepreneur or whatever, but okay, so I want him to have an income stream, a place to live, preferably by himself unless he has a roommate, or really he lives with his children or something. And so income stream, a place to live, and a way to get around. And if he communicates on a level that's like, oh, yo, baby, and like today I met someone that asked me, first question he asked, and that's what we talked about before, he asked, did I have a Facebook? So I'm like, no, I don't, because even if we got together now, I think, okay, so you always going to be on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. I mean, I have a Facebook, but it's not my, I don't post every move I make on Facebook. So just to lead with that made me say, no, I'm good.
So do you feel like he was just too scared to ask you for your number, so he just asked you for your social media? Do you feel like it was a lack of confidence that is?
Oh, well, maybe.
Because that's what's going on.
I'm thinking that more down the line that, because I've seen this a lot, once you get to know someone a few months in, you're going to have an issue knowing that, okay, so you still scrolling and liking every picture on Facebook. We supposed to be getting to know each other.
Okay. So do y'all ladies feel like he has to have a spiritual connection, or he need to lead with a spiritual connection to draw you in at all? Or at least to be like, oh, if this dude don't talk about no type of spiritual connection, that's a deal breaker too?
I think that's a deal breaker too, because I've had that situation before. I used to go to church a lot, and even if they don't go to the building, definitely have God in your life. But I had one guy say that, no, I can't even date a woman that goes to church. And that was, even though at that time I think I was maybe 19, 20, so I feel like I wasn't mature enough to know that was a deal breaker. It's a deal breaker now.
Okay.
But yeah, I would definitely want him to have I want him to have a connection with the higher power.
All right, cool. Well,
yeah, I'm the same way. I feel the same way. I think that's important because I do believe that's important in any relationship you get in, like for you as a companion, somebody you're going to be with. I think they need to have that spiritual connection with God in order for, for you to be able to even just work through issues that come through any relationship. Like, you go through stuff, and if you don't have some type of spirituality to get you through the hard times that come with, things that happen in relationships, then you more than likely they won't last, because you just going off of self. But you kind of got to, in a relationship, you got to look beyond yourself for that other person, So I really think that's very important. So I want that.
Yeah, that's facts. And any guy that's listening, just realize if you're not a man of the Most High or a man of God, you'll never get a woman's submission, because you got to follow God's mission to get submission from a woman. So that's definitely number one. That you definitely, I know if you following me, you better be having some type of spiritual connection. I ain't saying you gotta be a religious freak, but you gotta make sure that you have a spiritual connection with the Most High. So how you feel about that, Mike?
I mean, the shit is deep. It's real. The main reason why I say that is because, if you're not a man of God, Most High, or whatever you believe in, and you ain't standing on that shit, you're going to end up really learning life's hard falls. That's all I'm going to say about that.
All right. So the question for the man, since Mike's the only guy on the phone, do you automatically put a woman in a category when you are when you know that you are attracted to a woman? So
I try not to put her into a category unless she makes that known about herself. Like if she fits that category or she puts herself in that position, then I'm gonna label her, but it's gonna be like a pending label. But once she starts showing signs of some shit I don't like, I'm gonna just slap a sticker on it and put that shit, return the sender. Send that shit right back. But if she's different from all the rest, then yeah, I'm gonna definitely give her a go to see what she about. But if she fits the same,
But I'm just saying, no, I'm talking about initial attraction though. Before you even get to know her, like just the looks, the way she carry herself, the initial attraction. Do you be like, okay, like from basically for me, I'll be like, no, that's a no go. She damn near wifey material on the looks aspect. That's what I'm saying, because we're all visual, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we got discernment that we want to know what comes out her mouth, but at the same time, do you look at it like that? Like, do you qualify, her by her like, oh no, I'm not gonna be nowhere near attracted to her, or like, I mean, I ain't saying she gotta be the beautiful person in the world, but you gotta have some initial attraction to want to even attempt to approach her.
Yeah, if she's got some attraction, you know what I'm saying, about herself, I stand by and watch from a distance. But anything else that comes out is like fair game. If I see some shit that's wrong, I'm gonna just walk away like a wolf.
Okay. Facts. All right. So the next question I got for the ladies is, how do you qualify a man, period, that that you want to be interested in? What qualities does he need to show and have, and what type of respect he need to approach you with for you to be like, okay? Because I know the first 7 seconds of seeing somebody is everything. A lot of times people want to be cliche about it, but when we swiping on left and right on these dating apps, if you want to get with that guy or not. But I know it comes down to initially what comes out his mouth or her mouth. So what has to happen for him to qualify initially for you, Mo?
Being spiritual, stable, great communication. I mean, I wouldn't be physically attracted to him, and these aren't necessarily in this order, but
yeah, just get a synopsis on it. Ain't no big deal.
Mm-hmm. And respectful, and once I talk to him more, I want him to have a sense of humor. I want him to have some ambition, motivation, and we can build. We can kind of feed off each other's energy as far as where we're trying to go. As I had this other, I wanted to ask you real quick about, I don't know if you heard that last B. Simone statement. One of those lines that she put in that statement was, how could a woman ask for a man that's a family man if she's not close to some of her family? And I'm thinking that, I feel like, but everything she was saying, I feel like it's okay to ask for something that you might not have, because that person that you link up with can teach you those things or show you how to get those things you're liking. Like, okay, if I'm not the best with a budget, maybe you can show me how to budget. Or if I haven't been all around the world and I'm asking for a traveling man, well, maybe we could travel together, or, something like that. Or if I'm asking somebody with great communication, or if I'm shy or something, he can show me how to be more open. Or this something that you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you're looking for a man that got some experience and seasoned. If he's very seasoned and knowledgeable, that's going to turn you on, so he'll qualify. That's basically what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I'm saying that too, but I'm also saying that anything I'm saying we could, if we're opposites, we could balance each other out compared to what she was saying. She said, don't ask for anything that you don't have yourself. And I disagree with her saying that.
That's facts. That's facts. I mean, it's a like equally yoked. It's cool, but sometimes you do have to learn from your partner. And like you said, balancing out is cool, but I would say that's subjective, just like looks and everything else. So, what you got anything else, Mo? Before I move on to Catherine.
No, you can go on.
So, Catherine, I know you look for a man and God. Outside the qualities of God, what type of man has to have for you to qualify for you?
I definitely want, someone that I'm attracted to. I would like for that man to be like, neat with his clothes and what he like taking account of how he goes out, his appearance, his smell. That's very important to me. And I think that he needs to be a good communicator. I want him to be able to talk and share. I want him to be family oriented, where he can be able to, like to be, he doesn't have to be like a real people person, but don't mind being around, people and be able to communicate well with others. I don't want him to just be that way with me. I want him to be able to be open and adaptable to, different environments, because that's kind of how I am. Like, I feel like I can go in, an environment that maybe I'm not used to being in, and I'll be able to be chilled and adapt. So I would want somebody to be that same way, and there's somebody who is, and he needs to be right there too, and he needs to be dependable. I want somebody who I can actually, depend on, that if I need them, that they got my back, because I would be the same way. So I would want that person to be dependable to me, and
somebody,
a hard worker, someone who, that's willing to do the work. I don't want no lazy man, no man that don't want to, not willing to do anything. So I would want that as well.
Okay.
So,
So I'm gonna move on to the man. Is a cooperation a deal breaker for you, Mike?
Yeah, because without that cooperation, I think of it like this. If you got cooperation from your significant other, then that means you have something to work with. They're working with you, and as far as being a part of a team. When you don't get any cooperation from your significant other, you might as well just go dolo, because at that point you won't have nothing. You won't have no trust. You won't have anything. If you really needed something from this person and you needed it done, just like how you would do it for them, and they won't do it for you, and they're working against you, being combative, it's just not going to work. It's about the energy. Remember the energy. If that person's coming in with some negative shit and you're a positive person, it just cancels each other out. It's just never meant to be.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, I don't think women understand that men don't mind hunting, they don't mind chasing, but cooperation and just showing that you're giving them some slight attention goes a long way. And then if you really want to be a wife, because we're talking about men are the gatekeepers of marriage. Marriage can't happen unless you've been going to be cooperative. So a lot of times, just like the saying, say, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. You have to be a man that's hunting for a wife, for one. And for two, ladies, you got to be receptive of want to be a wife. And a wife, if you want to be a wife, you got to be cooperative. So this is very important of your essence of attracting a husband. Because you just can't go pick a man off a tree and say, I'm going to get married. So you have to be very cooperative and know, you have to twist the love language around for your husband. I know he might need words of kindness, but acts of kindness should be number one when you're trying to be a wife, period. For you, acts of kindness, because if you be kind, just say yes, especially if he hit those qualities. And once he hit those qualities, then that cooperation will go a long way. A lot of times, I don't think women understand that. So That's why I like to say, because sometimes I get a woman number, the vibe is good. Then next thing you know, it seems like she wants me. I'll reach out, and then I'll reach out, and then she'll come back, But then sometimes people be clouded because they got too many options, or they feel like they got too many options. So you gotta be ready to want to be a wife. Period. So cooperation go a long way. You said what, Mike?
No, that's definitely you hit the nail right on the head right there, because you figure, okay, just that little bit of cooperation, like you said, goes a long way when you're dealing with somebody, especially of the opposite sex, especially with the women. It works both ways, and I think that a lot of women, coming from my point of view, you could tell them something, but it's up to them to have a understandable meaning without having to buck. Or, just like literally, you get a lot of pushback, but you're only trying to let them know how's it going down. Like, you get more by putting in your effort.
Facts.
And working with that man to get further. If you're working against him, of course you're going to get less, because he's going to see that if you're working against him, there's nothing to be had here. He's just going to either stop fucking with you, or he's going to go his own way off to another woman's arm.
The best.
And I think a lot of women get mad because of that shit too.
The best P a woman can give a man is peace, not the other word. Peace go a long way for a man. Not the P, but not the peace league, but the P. If you give a man peace, it's really over. He gonna want you. That's what's gonna make him want to marry you, or make you want a long-term commitment. A lot of times women don't understand that. Peace. If you be peace to this pillow, like my girl China White say, it goes tenfold for a man. And we're man speaking and telling you this. So if you coming in on the other stream, we're live on YouTube. Stack 44 is my YouTube channel. So if you want to get over and join the conversation, you could call Stack 44 on YouTube. If you want to leave that stream and come over here, or stay right there and enjoy it. I appreciate y'all for coming in. All right, we're going to move on to number 3. How much, okay, this is what pretty much piggybacking what I just said, is how much interest and cooperation should you initially show a man, or do you show a man in the beginning? And I'll start with Catherine on this one.
Okay, can you clarify that?
So basically, how much interest and cooperation do you show when that man qualify? So if you be like, oh, he's cute, he's, you got an initial conversation with him, how much interest and cooperation do you show the man? Because, it's all about you. It's on your part too, just like it's on his part. Do you just feed off his energy, or you set your own energy to let him know, hey, I like you?
Oh, I would more likely, I'm going to, feed off his. If he's showing me the same, energy, I'm going to, feed off his, and I'm going to definitely, share and show my interest more if I see that the man, especially if I'm interested in him. I would give the same thing back. If the interest is the same. Now, if he's giving me that and I'm not really feeling him, I'm not gonna give as much energy to it. But if I'm feeling the same thing and the vibe is good, our conversation is well, I'm seeing he's like all other stuff I name, that I'm looking for. But the man, then I would give the same thing back. I would show just as much interest as well.
Facts. Mo, what you got? What type of cooperation do you show and interest you show in the beginning?
I follow his lead in the beginning, but I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I always feel like that's exactly what I ask myself. How much interest should I show in the beginning? I don't want to show too much, and I don't want to show too little.
So you just do you feed off the man's lead, because the men really are the leaders?
As I try to follow his lead.
All right, so on the first date, I'm gonna ask y'all both this. On the first date and y'all out, what do you think you need to bring to the table if he's taking you out? Even though we know the man supposed to open the door, man supposed to pay, man supposed to, either have a little conversation with you. What can you add to the date that's cooperative?
Cooperative?
Yeah, a lot of times women don't. I know some women know the game. They be, like, you know, I ain't gonna tell. I'm not asking y'all questions before I get y'all the answers or what I feel or what I seen.
I really want to know because I'm.
So you mean to tell me? So I'm just asking on the. So I'm asking on the first date when you go out with a man, what do you feel like you need to bring to the table besides your beauty?
I just feel like
No, go ahead, Mo.
I just feel like communicate, listen, and like I said, I'll follow his lead.
Okay.
But the thing that I don't do on the first date is I don't say I'm looking for a husband or anything.
Okay. You got anything to add, Catherine?
I'm with her. I'm just gonna give him some good community. I'm gonna show my interest. Try to give him some eye contact. I'm gonna definitely be engaged. If we're out on a date, I'm gonna, you know, if he's taking me out, I don't know what more. I'm curious to know what more am I supposed to do.
So two cheat codes a woman could do on the first date is if you have children, whatever, check on the children with the phone while y'all sitting down. You know, sit down, check on the children, put the phone up. That's important for a man. Make sure it's to the point that you can feel it vibrate if there's an emergency. But if you just give him all the attention, those cool points. And the second thing at the end of dinner, if he takes the bill and you say, you know what, I'm gonna add the tip to it, that shows that you're interested in going out with him again. You don't have to do it all the time, but at least do it one of the first 2 times you date with a man. Because when a man see a woman pick up the tip, that means he know that she enjoys spending time. I mean, I don't see there's nothing wrong for a woman paying 10% of what the 100% he just paid. That's game. That's how I feel.
I was gonna mention tips too, but I didn't know you were going.
Hey, I asked what's gonna happen on the first date, so I left it for you. So, do you agree, Mike? Anything I leave out?
And I agree with that shit. They have to show like a good amount of frequency on my frequency. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like I'm putting in a majority of the wavelength or the energy into that shit, she don't seem like she's really interested, I just call that one. You know what I'm saying? I hit the check, please, and do the tip and just drop her ass off at the bus stop or some shit.
But I'm just saying,
quick
what type of impression that leaves when she makes sure she check on her kids, communicate that or something, check on whatever, put her phone up, don't have her phone out during the date like that. Then she picks up the tip. How much cooperation you feel like? I feel like she separates herself from the pack. I know when women do that around me, I be like, hold up, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I'll be shocked. And then at the same time, I really know that at that point, she probably cut a lot different. She probably cut a cloth a lot different than a majority of these modern women are today. A very rare find. And I definitely have to holler at her again.
Yeah, I'm not trying to beat y'all up, but I'm just saying it's just like little stuff like that states to a man, I want to be here. Because if you don't separate yourself, then he gonna put in his mindset, he gonna be like, well, she just like the last date I have. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
it definitely shows, man.
So all right, so we gonna jump on to the man. Damn, I just them to answer the question. So how can she separate herself from the pack? And really, for me, I just said, for me, I feel like it's the cooperation part, showing some type of cooperation, or on a second or third date, she could actually be like, you know what, come over, we're gonna cook together. Something that show her that she's willing to put some type of investment into the time spent besides, just sucking up my non-sexual attention. You know what I'm saying? How you feel about that, Mike? How can she separate herself from the pack?
She can separate herself from the pack by being a step above, showing more leadership skills, showing me that she could do a lot of things that a lot of women can't. And I just don't mean sexually. I mean, something that'll spark your mind, your intellect, finding out that she has the same interest in you, that you basically will share with her. Her teaching you something that you never knew that you even had the capability of, or not knowing something, and she finds out about it, and she knows how to work that that shows a high level of interest. That would keep my interest more than anything else. You know, knowing what to do in certain situations. She knows how to back me up, especially when I'm going through something. That shows a lot, because if she backs me up, then I give her the world. Real shit. And that shows that counts as a lot, rather than somebody just idly standing by, waiting for shit to happen. You know, I like somebody who likes to take charge to a certain degree, but knows how to show leadership and knows her place. That's what I like.
Facts. Did we lose y'all ladies on that? Or y'all listening?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right, but that's important. Even in the chat, somebody said it's an indicator showing interest in the moment with the man, and she appreciate the date. So basically, this is how men think. We gotta see some type of because we look at everybody looking for signs when you don't know a person. So indicators of showing that you're interested, you happy, you spend time. Because let's just face it, women ain't used to spending no money on no man, but we are used to spending money on a woman. So it's like it's natural for us to spend the money. But when we see a woman do certain things or certain gestures of, you know what, it might not even have to be you might not even have to pick up the tip. You might not have to put up the phone. But if I'm walking you to your vehicle and you be like, look, I want to go out with you here, but I want you to come here with me. Like, it's an idea for her. Even ideas is indicators that I want to spend more time with you, and will separate you from the other women as well too. So
that's what I was about to ask. If she comes up, if she has suggestions for things, would that?
No, she should. But dating wise, Mo, you should take the lead and be like, look, I enjoy spending time with you, but I like to do this. Are you interested in coming to do this with me? It could be rock climbing. It could be hiking. It could be anything, but at least you express that I want to show you how I ease my mind, because this is how I spend my purpose, doing this or doing that. You know what I mean? A man, if you include a man into your personal fund for your personal life and include him, he's thinking that you're actually wifey material, because you're not going to be a born, because let's just face it, a lot of women want the wedding. They don't want the marriage. They don't want what's coming on after it. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. So let me go and jump on to number 4. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was saying that's deep. That's deep. What you said right there. A lot of women, they want the wedding, but they don't want the marriage. And I'm like,
it's just like a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, but they don't realize you're gonna work 10 times harder than what you do when you work for somebody. That entrepreneurship is, it sounds good, but what's happening when you gotta get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, do payroll, pay your taxes every year? You know, right now it's tax season, act season. That's what I call it. But a lot of people that's entrepreneurs, you got to pay them taxes out. You got to pay the taxes of the years to keep your business going. So, I mean, you know, a lot of people don't realize what it takes to keep things going, period. All right. So the next question I have for the ladies is, what wife values you think you have? So I'm going to start with Catherine.
I was hoping he wasn't gonna start with me, but
oh, Catherine, you've been a wife before, so you gotta know your.
Short and sweet then.
You gotta. You wanna go, Mo? You gotta know your wife values.
Well, I know them. What I got.
You gotta have some enthusiasm behind that, though. Come on.
I have. I'm a good communicator. I'm dependable. I think I know. I ain't gonna say think. I know that I feel like that where I'm at in my life now, I'm open to anything. So whatever my significant other has to bring to me, I think that that person could feel comfortable and be open with me with whatever. So, you know, sometimes people, because I feel like you have to be able to be who you are yourself around the person. A lot of people, I feel like that's why marriages don't work, is because a person have to put up being something they don't always get to be fully who they are, you know, unless they've been seeing this person, dating them for like years and knowing them for years, and then, you know, they can be who they are. But some, you know, if you don't necessarily, some people get married early, don't necessarily know the person, and then they put on, you know, something, they're not really being able to be who they really are. And they end up acting in another kind of way. And when that true side starts coming out, then it really destroys the marriage. So I feel like that I can accept the person if they're not at, you know, their best or whatever. I'll be able to still, you know, work through it. I want them to be able to come with whatever it may be, and I think that's a good quality, because some people like kids don't want to deal with that. So I believe in taking something that's probably not fully the way I want it to be, but you know, if I know that person got potential or whatever, I will still work. So I think that's a
but are you
thing.
going? I'm talking about what values you have. I ain't talking about feeding off his energy. What are you bringing to the table? What values do you have that's gonna be like he better? You know, like I said, because at the end of the day, when I don't interact with a woman, I'm losing out on something that I didn't probably know I had, or she losing out on something that she didn't know I had. So what value do you have that a man's going to get from you? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, so I didn't answer that. Okay.
Nah, you kind of went all the way around it, but you basically talking about feeding off his energy.
I'm faithful. I feel like I'm a good woman. I'm a hard worker. I'm a good mom. I'm a clean lady, so I like things to be clean. I'm a good cook. I said I was dependable already. So.
Okay, well, I mean that's enough. That's cool.
Yeah.
What about you, Mo? What wife values do you have?
I would say loyal, dependable. I like cooking, cleaning, a partner, supportive, creative, open-minded, positive. I think I have good positive energy. Open and honest. And let's say, I'll just give you a scenario. So let's say if this was the type of guy that said he wanted to start a business, I wouldn't be that type that would say, well, for what? You know what I mean? I would be supportive. And then we could talk about, I would either listen to his plan or we could talk about the plan. And that's what I like partnership.
Okay, cool. All right, Mike. So to the man now, how can a woman add to your program, Mike?
How can a woman add to my program? Well, you know, first of all, she has to come with a list set of qualities. First of all, she has to believe in God. You know what I'm saying? Because if nobody doesn't believe in God, then she has no purpose in my program. You know, because he makes the path easier to where I have to be to my destination. And I want that to be our destination if we do get into a relationship. Just to come with a set of qualities, you know, to make us as a team. She has to be effective, most of all, in all aspects of life. She has to be a leader like me, because, you know, two heads are better than one in any kind of given situation. And the same way I would have her back, she has to have my back. And in all situations, just like how if I came into a situation where I couldn't handle it on my own and it gets to become too much to handle, she could immediately step in and knew what to do instinctively without me having to tell her or give her any form of instruction.
Okay.
As long as she knows it's within reason to handle that.
Okay, facts. Anything else?
That's it.
All right.
No, that's pretty much it. That's how I go.
For me, add to my program is being a reflection of what I speak as a man. So if I speak, you know, like, you know, the spiritual realm that I have, I want her to match it just like you said, Mike. I want her to match the fitness component that I know I bring to the table. This is my program, so I'm just saying. But she need to have a fitness component, make sure she's always keeping her mind sharp, because at the end of the day, I'm always growing. So I want her to grow with me, not grow against me. Somebody that can speak their mind, communicator, a person that know how to compromise, and a person that's my reflection that I could be vulnerable around, because at the end of the day, a man shouldn't make a woman his wife unless he could be vulnerable around him, because she becomes his supercharger. And at the same time, by being a reflection, that means he's letting her know that she could take the reins by having his last name. So technically, she's the co-captain on his ship. So to add to the program, she has to understand me wholeheartedly, who I am as a man. Just like if I was in a coma and I opened my eyes, but I couldn't talk yet, she should be able to look in my eyes and know what I want as a man. You know, that's the type of connection, you know, a person should have. Just like your mother. Like, I know, Catherine, you're a mother. You can look in your kid's face when you know something wrong. A man wants the same thing when he has a wife or a woman. And if a woman can do that and have that special powers, then we know that she could be the one. So that's how I answer that.
Well, Stack, let me ask you something, because that's what I was trying to say. I know I probably seemed like I went out a little bit with it, but I was just, I guess that vulnerability, I guess that's where I was going with that. Maybe I didn't come about saying it right, but that's what I meant. Like the person being able to be themselves and just open up, that I would be, you know, I'm that type of woman. Like that's the quality I was saying, that I would be able to accept the man being vulnerable. So I probably should have said that, because that's kind of what I was trying to say when I said, you know, being able to be themselves, you know, and not having to try to hide or put in, you know, an act, because, you know, to be with somebody, maybe I didn't say it right.
No, it's all good. It's all
That's
good.
what I meant.
It's all good. So, anybody want to piggyback what I said? You good, Mike?
Yeah, I'm good. That's just the way how I was talking about how, you know, how you have to go in and, like, you know, how you said how your lady would instinctively catch on to what you got to do. Yeah, that shit was spot on. Just the shit that I said. She would instinctively know what to do if you faced against a situation. She would take charge immediately in your best interest.
Okay.
So that way y'all both could be on the same page.
All right.
I
So
want to piggyback on
go
the
ahead.
fitness part, which I didn't mention, but yes, I'm very interested in staying healthy, being in shape, and we could make sure that he is too.
Facts.
If he's not already, then we could just do it together.
Facts. All right. So the next thing I'm gonna talk about, I know it's gonna get deep now. So we done already got the disqualifications out the way. We got the qualifications in the way for the women. We built the interest. We got the cooperation. We showed wifely duties. He probably showed his program. So how long it takes for women to have sex with a man? Let's let's go there. Let's get deep tonight. I want to know how long you think you should wait for sex, or should you want to give up sex, since you're the gatekeeper of sex, ladies? So how long you think a man should wait for sex, or how long would you make a man wait for sex? Starting with Mo.
I would say when he tells me that we are in a relationship, an exclusive relationship, then we can talk about sex.
Oh, okay. All right, Catherine, what about you?
For me, it depends on the person and the vibe. I'm not going to just, you know, go right off with every man, but it just depends on how I feel about the person, the mood I'm in, the person I'm dealing with, or whatever. But you know, I'm just not gonna. That don't mean that I just do that with everyone.
Okay.
But I mean, the timing. If we speaking of timing, then if I'm being that person,
so if you vibing with him,
yeah.
If you vibing with him, how many dates you think it takes before you be like, all right, this man that took me on 2-3 dates, I'm ready to get physical? How many dates you think it should take? Or, you know, because I feel like if you go on the first date and you're not sexually, like, of course you wouldn't go on a date unless you don't see yourself having sex with him. I hope you don't. But how many dates would you feel like, or how much time, you know, just like, just give a ballpark of like maybe 3-4 dates. Is it a 3-4 date thing or what? Or I know open ain't.
No dates. I don't go by dates in order to decide whether or not I'm on. You know, it's just the
it ain't. But it ain't no 90. Is it a 90-day rule attached to it at all?
I think it just goes off the vibe between that
Okay.
person, because I might meet somebody that I think I need to wait with, and then I might meet some man that I'm like really attracted to him, and I'm feeling him, and I don't want to wait 90 days. Like I really want to see what it's like, you know. So I don't know. It just depends on. For me, it depends on the
Hold on.
person and the vibe.
I got another caller real quick. What's up, man?
What's going on with you, Stack?
Man, you manifest it and it will come. Cause I need Big Rich to call in tonight on this topic.
Oh man, they may not like my perspective on this one, my brother. But you know, as far as what y'all talking about now, the way I roll, there's not going to be too much of the previous things that you talked about without having sex, because everything else you're talking about, dining and this and that, I got a bunch of business associates. I got homeboys that I can eat with. The reason I'm with a young lady is to have sex. So there's a high priority on that. So we're not going to play a game of using that as a bargaining chip to where it's got to be so many dates, or it's got to be such a period of time or whatever. And especially if the woman already has children.
Okay, facts.
Because she shows already that, I mean, she's not a virgin. She gave it to somebody before. I'm not going to jump through a whole lot of hoops and things like that, not saying that she's not worth me presenting my best self to her. And I'm always on that anyway, because that's just how I move. But I'm not playing games about the things. We're not high schoolers. We're not teenagers anymore, whatever. The reason a man gets with a woman is to have sex. Let's be grown about it. I'm not going to be taking you out, feeding you, spending time with you, giving you all my non-sexual attention. No.
Wow.
It just ain't happening,
So
bro.
I don't like that.
I would like to ask a question about that though. So would you be opposed to letting her know, okay, I want it to be me and you. So we're going out, we're sleeping together, whatever. Because that's what I want to know. If it's 3 dates in and you told me that it's just me and you, because I don't want to have us sleeping together and then you just saying, well, I'm entertaining 5 women. I'm entertaining a lot of women. You just happen to be one of the ones I'm entertaining.
Well, let me clarify this to you. This is what I mean, and I mean no disrespect by this, but there's not going to be, if we're not having sex, there's not going to be 3 dates. If I'm out with a woman, if I'm treating a woman and I'm giving her the best of me, because when you're with me, it's an experience. I'm not being cocky right now. That's just how I feel about myself. When you're with me, it's an experience, and I'm going to show you a good time. I'm going to treat you as though you are my woman. So if you are my woman, then we're going to be getting down.
Yeah, see now, and Rich, and I don't mean no disrespect to you, but you're the type of guy that I wouldn't give it to, because talking like that, you wouldn't, and it don't have to be no dates. I'm just being straightforward.
Hey, no, look. I
don't need dates. I don't think, like I said earlier, but right before you came on, it ain't about no dates. I don't care about no man.
I heard you.
My own stuff. Yeah, I could buy my own stuff. I could buy my own food, but you know
I did hear you. I did hear you, and I respect what you're talking. I respect what you're talking about. It's just that that's just how I roll. I'm not forcing myself on anybody, and if you feel like they wanted to give it to me, I'm not the kind of guy that has a problem obtaining sex.
Right.
So that doesn't bother me. If you turn me down, you turn me down, because that's not what I'm all about. But what I'm saying is, I'm a grown man. That's the only reason that I'm with a woman.
But then I want to know then why, because you said the point that you already got kids and we already know that you're sexual. So then why you're not gonna do it? Why that woman can't just don't want to do it at that time? Maybe she doesn't want. Maybe it's a reason. Every woman got a reason. Just when she come in your life, she be like, well, wait a minute, I don't want to do it just right away with you. Why is that a problem? Why
she doesn't have to do it right away. I didn't say do it right away.
Hold on.
I'm explaining Nicole. Look, check it out. Not for nothing. I understand his role, and I also understand your role too. You know, we all go through certain things, but as a man speaking from personal experience, A lot of us men, we're hunters. If we see that the kill ain't good, and we like, hey, look, we gave you the best. If I gave you the best of me, I want to see what you have to offer. It's up to you. I'm choosing you, but are you willing to be chosen and take this, take what I have to offer? And that's my, all of me, my love, maybe not all of my resources, but I'm going to share some of my resources with you and, have you experience certain things by me.
I'm going to say this.
As a man, if I feel like I'm wasting my time, and it's not going to be 3 dates, it's more like going to be, okay, first date, let's see where it goes. Second date, if you still ain't showing no interest, I'm not, if it does come down to a one-night stand, that's how I used to think. If it comes down to a one-night stand, okay, cool, I'm out. But if I'm going to be putting in all my time and effort and you're not reciprocating that back to me, reflecting, or, willing to give, like I'm giving you, it's not going to last long. I think that's what I meant to say.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say I don't think Catherine wrong or Rich wrong. It's all about the energy when the date happens. And if her energy is, I'm going to take my time, his energy is, I'm putting my best self to you. And that's what I'm showing this, then, is what it is. It's a deal breaker.
You know what I think, y'all, and this is just, I think because so many women are so free with sex and they give it, because Rich, if women were like, if all women got together and they said that I'm not sleeping with no man until this time, like I'm not going to be giving it up, you wouldn't have a choice. You wouldn't have a choice but you know that you got other options. Because if one chick won't give it up, you could go over here and get it there. So you say, well, now, if she ain't giving it up after the evening dates, I'm on to the next one. And you can do that because that's what the world is now, because you don't have to deal with that. No man has to deal with that. No woman has to deal with that because people are really free with sex. But if the world was not like this and women was not giving themselves so freely, to me, you wouldn't have no choice but to wait.
Well, we're dealing, and you know what? At that point, I would deal with that, but we're living in reality. We're living with the way things are. And that's the way I'm living. So that's what it is. And I'm not saying that I would right now I'm when I'm seeing this woman in the chat just the nose. Look, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to women. I'm not talking about I'm here to abuse women or take advantage of women. I'm just telling you how I roll mine. I humbly respect all your opinions and your viewpoints and everything. I don't know you, and you definitely don't know me.
So, right.
But the thing about it is it's not a hard thing as far as this many dates, this amount of money, this, that, or the other. It's about the energy that we have with each other. But we're talking about baselines here. We're talking about in generalities, and I'm just not gonna do that. We don't do fruity calls over here.
All right.
Yeah, and
let me.
A lot of things you gotta realize too, Nicole. A lot of things you gotta realize too. Just like a lot of women get used, or may not want to give it up, and a lot of dudes that just be like, yo, I just want sex. You get a lot of chicks out there that be doing some foul ass shit, just like my man Rich said. Booty calls. Okay, I'm gonna just use this dude right here for food, and the next dude I'm just gonna go over here and use this for sex. Like you said, there's a lot of people that's freely with their shit, and like Stack said, which I was trying to mention, but I couldn't quite bring it out. The energy.
It's energy.
Right. The energy.
It's all about energy, and then don't let nobody don't let nobody steal your joy. If you stand on not giving up sex, just be you. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you stand on that you want sex, just be you. Don't get angry about it, because some dudes get angry about it, some women get angry about it. That's the mindset. But Mo, you said you had something to add real quick. We're gonna move on.
Yeah, real quick. I just wanted to add on. I wanted to chime in. I think that it really just depends on that man and that woman, because, like, for a man, like, what was the man's name?
Rich. That's Rich.
Rich. Okay, Rich. Okay, so I feel like because a man like Rich, I'm just saying, generally speaking, that could be a person that you could sleep together the first, second time you go out, the first time you go out, and end up married, or you could go out 16 times and never even get physical. Well, that's going to be extreme, but
because we ain't going out 16 times.
I mean,
it depends on those two people. That's what I'm trying to say.
I agree with
so this gonna bring me to the next question for the man. How long are you willing to wait for sex
It's about the dynamic. It's about the dynamic. You know, what's going on between me and her. You know, what's her situation like?
Okay.
Because a lot of times I don't want to hurry up and rush into something. If I'm interested in a woman and she's showing me something about herself, I'm not really interested in her sex right away. I want to see what she's working with. I want to see those other qualities, because you can tell me all day. I'm not big on this. Well, you can trust me. I bring support to the table. You can say all those things, but those are empty words. If you're showing me something else, though, I'm willing to wait, but I ain't gonna wait too long. You understand what I'm saying? It's a vibe between the two people. So I'm not really hard-nosed on a certain point that I'm gonna wait, or that I'm not gonna wait. It's just got to be right. If she got something going on, hey, sometimes people got stuff going on health-wise.
Facts.
You know, sometimes people got situations. I mean, if she's about anything, if I'm talking to her, she's going to be about anything. She's got a job too. She's out taking care of business too. So she's not always willing to and I wouldn't expect her to, because I don't like no dead, just lay on your back starfish sex. I want you to be popping it back at me.
Facts.
So you got to have a little energy with you too. And if you ain't really feeling it with me, then I don't really want it.
Facts. Mike,
sex is not a deal, but all I'm saying is I think women get a little upset when we talk about this, because like I said, man, I'm not a young man. The reason I get with women is to have sex. I don't have sex with my homeboys. I have sex with women.
Okay.
And women don't have a problem with the traditional roles as far as a man opening up their door or paying for the date, or if something happens to them while they're out, they don't have a problem with the man being traditional and protecting them. They don't have that. I don't feel there's anything wrong with me asking her to break off some of that yum yum.
Okay, so Rich, let me ask you this then. So
hold on.
Too, right?
Hey, I gotta get through the man real quick. Let me get through the man. I gotta get Mike's perspective. Y'all keep cutting in.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Come on. We don't need y'all to get triggered on here. All right, Mike.
I'm sorry.
At the end of the day, let's just always tell you guys, let's put our feelings aside, because somebody that's young, that's willing to get married and want a wife or want a husband, they're going to learn from my experiences. If we make this personal, then nobody's going to learn shit. You know? So that's what I'm saying. We want people to understand.
Speaking generally, right?
Yeah, and generally we should be speaking. I mean, we should use our personal experience to teach the next generation of people that's going to hear this video 2 or 3 months down the line. Like, let's just don't get to no argument about this, our views. You know, that's what I'm saying. You know, so Mike, how long should you wait before you feel like a woman's playing games with sex?
Honestly, I give her until, like, depending on how her energy level is, I give it the 3-strike rule. If I know she's really bullshit, I give it a 2-strike rule. It has to begin with conversation and us going on a date and see how she interacts in public, as if, like, we're having, whether we're having lunch together or something like that. Depending on what comes out of her mouth is really gonna either prolong the relationship or just fucking end it right there. If I know that she's about bullshit, and I know that it's not going anywhere, or she's got too many problems, or she just seems to be really not interested or gets on my fucking nerves, she's got to go. It's going to end right there on that first date. But it has to be the reciprocation of energy to see where it's going.
But
depending on how I'm feeling.
So you
I go off of that by instinct.
So you going off, but if you going on, like, let's say you dating a woman for like a whole 2 months and you took on 4 dates, do you have a limit? Like, I ain't spent phone time, I spent physical time with dates. Do you be like, man, you know what? At the 5 dates, I'm good?
I would go off the 3 strikes rule. 3 strikes. If she's okay on the first date, things go well, okay, we're gonna go on the second one. You know, the second one, depending on if she's reciprocating what I'm looking for, then we'll go on the third one. But if I know it's about bullshit or she doesn't mention anything about going on a date a third time, I'll just leave her alone.
I feel like a woman shouldn't even accept a third date if she don't see herself being sexual with you at some point, especially at a certain age. I mean, that's me. I ain't saying she gotta have sex the third date, but I'm just saying she shouldn't accept a third date if she don't want to have sex.
Right. I want to chime in.
The thing is, I didn't really want to get too sexual with a woman because I'm not sure what kind of energy that she might be carrying, and just laying down with her if she's got some, you know, some kind of energy on her, whether it be negative. I didn't really want to, like, you know, put my life source energy into her.
Hello? 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 We got a new caller.
Okay. I think I might be behind.
Oh, shit.
Are you live?
Yeah, we live.
Let me catch up. I think my feed is behind.
Nah, just turn down your the YouTube gonna be behind, so you know, just turn that down, but then just, you know.
Okay, because I'm still on the part where y'all are talking about how many dates for sex.
Yeah, but
and,
YouTube gonna be behind. We gonna be ahead. So just turn YouTube down.
Okay.
All right, my bad. Let Mike finish saying what he's saying before you come in, new caller. What you saying, Mike?
Yeah, I think that honestly, that, you know, dealing with the opposite sex, like you said before, you know, if she ain't up on it by the third time, you know, she shouldn't really be accepting those dates and whatnot. And I agree. I think it's all about the energy. I didn't really want to go too fast in the sex with her and not really know where she's coming from. Furthermore, what she's got. Because nowadays you just can't have sex with anything, especially with motherfuckers sick out here and everything. Like, I'm real cautious when it comes down to that.
Facts. All right, new caller, what you got on this topic, or you know what? Let me say what I want to say about how long will I wait for a woman. I feel like it's the energy part, and after 3 dates and like over a month of, because me, I'm gonna talk to you. I'm not gonna text you. I'm gonna be conversating with you on the phone. You're gonna know my views of religion. You're gonna know my views of my past relationships. You're gonna know my views as a man. So if I'm pouring into you and then pouring into you financially and taking you out, eventually I'm gonna be looking like, if the vibe is right, then I'm gonna be like, what's the hold up? Because if I feel like you're like, if I'm feeling you and you feeling me, but then at the same time you holding that over my head, I'm gonna just feel like it's a fucking game. That's just me. And then I'm gonna probably lose interest. So that's just how I feel. But I feel like you just have to go with it, because relationships should be called risks, not relationships. So that's how I feel. All right. New caller, what's your name?
Jessica.
Okay, Jessica. What you got going?
I just feel like a lot of people, specifically maybe even men, but a lot of people, like, if sex and relationships look like a subject in school, it would not be a science or a math. You know, 1 + 1 doesn't always equal 2. You know what I mean? In relationships, it will be more like a philosophy, a social studies. You know what I mean? And I feel like when men approach it, where it's like, okay, well, I took you on 3 dates, I opened the doors, and I brought you a flower, so that equals sex. No. And like a lot of the comments, it's like, I truly believe that, like, when you say things, it's either coming from like a place of positivity or like a place of fear, like scarcity. You know what I mean? And when men date, like, we can feel that, like, oh, she gonna give me the pussy, she gonna give it to me. I don't think, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what you're thinking in the back of your brain, like, we can feel that, and that's not attractive at all, like, on any level. Whereas you'll get another dude who is like probably half the man that you are. You know what I'm saying? But he cool. He playing it cool. He not thirsty. He listening to what you saying, even if it's game. He listening to what you saying, and then you like, oh, you feel uncomfortable? Oh, the vibe is, what would you like the vibe to be? What type of vibe is you looking for? Like, they're gonna fix the vibe to make it equal sex. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, you're right about that. I mean,
so it's just that people, like, especially older men, like think like that. It just be blowing my mind.
Well, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like people just go off energy. You can't go wrong with that. If it's bad energy, get away as a woman. If it's bad energy as a man, like Mike says, bad energy, you might have too many partners. He can feel that, like, really, people tell you who the hell they are by talking to them. That's why I tell people stop texting and start talking.
And it's the third or the fourth date, and she just not there yet. You feel me? Like, why would you?
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? You didn't already put in the work, so why don't you figure out what's out of place? You know what I'm saying? A couple of missing pieces to the puzzle. Figure out what's out of place versus just going somewhere else and be like, oh, she only wanted me for meals. And then you're going to start over with another bitch that really did only wanted you for meals. Can I say something now? Because I've been waiting.
Oh, go ahead.
Ask my question. And me too. Because I know that it felt like I was coming out of my own feelings, but I was really just trying to get clarification.
Okay.
I wanted to find out, what if the woman is paying for her own food and she's going out and she's paying the bills, or if she's paying for the food or whatever? Is you still going to feel that same way that you, after them 3 dates, that you should still get the sex if she's paying?
Yeah, I mean,
Man, if she paying for her own food, she better pay for my shit too.
Okay, but and I hear that, but I'm saying I want Rich to tell me if the woman is paying for her own food and you're going out on 3 dates, and just say you done went on 3 dates and she done paid for her food on all 3 dates, you still think you're supposed to get sex from her?
You can pay for 3 dates. You can pay for 2. You can pay for 1. I could pay for all of them. I have no problem breaking bread. The whole thing about it is I'm a man. I like vagina. I like having sex, and I'm not going to be apologetic about that. That's why we're together. I kick it with my homeboys. When I want some sex, I want some sex, and when I want some sex, I'm not homosexual. I'm not beating up on them or saying anything's wrong with them. They do what they want to do. Me, I'm a heterosexual man, and I'm not used to begging for it. I'm not used to doing tricks for it. I'm not used to playing any kind of games for it, and I'm not going to apologize for being a man and wanting that. That's all. I mean,
ladies, I'm gonna tell you. Ladies, I'm gonna tell you. If you fucking with Big Rich, he's gonna put it on you. All right, watch out.
No,
I just want to comment on Richard Jefferson.
And all of these ladies are beautiful, and I've heard all their comments, even the latest when they came on Jessica, and I understand where everyone's coming from. I'm just telling you from my perspective, from where I'm at. Now, I'm not a perfect man. You all aren't perfect people, but we're trying to put something together here and learn from each other. But me, that's the whole point of men and women. That's why we're made the way we're made. You know, like a jigsaw puzzle. You know, fit the 2 pieces together.
So if the woman don't give it to you within like three times or something, you done been out, you just gonna write her off and say, well, this ain't the woman for me because she ain't gonna give me
No,
sex?
apparently you didn't listen to what I said before. I'm not putting a hard number on it. But first of all, I don't remember even having that kind of trouble as far as getting it. Because I just don't play it. But what I'm saying is if you're out with someone 3 times, you can tell a vibe from somebody. You can tell by the feedback that's coming back at you. That's why I don't even get 2-3 times. I'll cut it off after the first date. A woman sure would if she's not interested in me. And the way I look at it as, I'm not cutting her off after 3 dates and going and dealing with someone else just because I think this is a lost cause with her. So I'm saying, the thing is, why invest more time with someone that you know that it's not going to go anywhere for you?
Thanks.
And you should put yourself in first place. I expect you, if you're a woman and you're with me, I expect you to put yourself in first place. And most women will put themselves in first place. But I'm the kind of guy that I live my life like that. And I'm number one. I'm the captain of this boat. And I sail it how I see it needs to be sailed. And I have standards and everything like women do. So I don't think it's like I said, I do not think it's a number of dates or anything like that, or a time period. But it's a vibe.
Yeah, I mean, it's a vibe. Like, everybody got their system of how they run a program, like Rich said. And if you're an anchor to my ship, then you got to go. And vice versa for women. If I ain't trying to set sail on it, I'm overboard. So, I mean, it is what it is. What you want to say, Mo?
I want to make a comment for the panel, yes, but then if it's a young lady or a young man that come across this later on, I just want to say that if a woman feels that energy, like you said, how many dates will it take for me to get some? She's going to ask for as many dates as you're willing to provide. You know what I'm saying? The one that's looking for those meals, those free meals.
But if you flipped it around, all right, Mo. So if you flipped it around, Mo, and you pay for all the dates until I give you some of this, which is the next question. What I'm about to ask y'all is, can y'all as women, this all the women on here, can y'all wait until, if a man wanted to wait to have sex until marriage, can y'all do it?
No.
Who said no?
Oh shit!
Huh?
That was Jessica. I said fuck no.
Okay, all right. So, Catherine, can you wait for sex with a man?
Yes, I would, but I need to see what he working with. If
Oh.
I'm gonna wait all that time, he gonna have to at least let me see what he got, and I was willing to wait. I'm not gonna wait and do it without I knowing what he got.
So you gotta see. So you gotta see his. So if he working with nothing, you good?
Y'all gonna be bumping coochie. If he working with nothing, I'm not gonna even take it nowhere. Then if he ain't got nothing, I'm not gonna further deal with it.
So you might as well just say you need to get some before you have sex with him, pretty much.
Say it again.
I say so. He's saying if he's too big or too small, you're not fucking with him.
Right.
So it's gotta be.
Goodness, Kathleen, I've never seen this out of you before.
All right, Mo. What about you, Mo? Can you wait to marriage to have sex with a man?
Okay.
If he made you wait, would you wait?
Before I answer, I wanted to say what I was finishing about that other one, that I think it should all be communicated, even if that's the case. If he said, well, I want to wait till marriage, I'm a virgin, whatever the case is, I'm celibate, I just want to wait till marriage, because I know he's not a virgin. I don't think at this point in my life I'm going to meet a male virgin, at least not in my age bracket.
But I'm just saying, answer the question. That's his requirement.
But if that's what we were on, like Megan Good and her husband, if that's the situation I was in,
I'm asking you.
I wouldn't mind.
Okay, you wouldn't mind. I'm just saying, I'm asking you. You be moving the goalpost sometimes, Mo. I'm asking straight questions.
But short answer, I would if that's where we were.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna ask the guys this one. Could y'all wait for marriage? I mean, well, I already know it's no for Rich. Could you wait? And Mike, is a no go for you? Wait for sex for marriage?
I actually believe, Stack. I believe that it should be waiting until marriage. I do actually believe that. But the thing is, with me, is I'm not going to be getting married.
Okay.
Not in the traditional sense where you go that it's with the state. In America, I'm not getting married under this system of things.
Okay.
But as far as being married, I do think that's the way it's supposed to be. Okay. In this society, we always seem like we put the cart before the horse. People are having sex, people are having babies, and then they're getting married. They're doing everything back. Then they get it. They're doing everything backwards. But traditionally, I am a traditional, old-fashioned type of man. I think that it should be courtship. It should be dating. It should be marriage. Then down the line, there should be sex and children after that.
All right. Mike, what you got?
Man, I'm going to be honest with you. Fuck no, I ain't waiting for marriage to have sex. I mean, like, communicating with my woman, if she's saying, like Mo said, it's got to be communicated from off the jump. Because of the fact that you both have to be on equal footing to actually let each other know what you expect out of that before you go ahead and get married. It's like if you're going to wait to go ahead and get married before sex, one side might not feel the same way over time, but even if it is expressed between one another and agreed upon one another, one side might change their mind, even though they both agreed to it at the same time. So I'm going to have to, say no, I wouldn't wait, because knowing me, if I come across a woman, I know she may be sexy, she may actually experience this too. She was pretty, but at the same time, we expressed that we wanted to go ahead and do that. And then after a while, I started having second thoughts. And, I'm glad I pulled away from that, because the person that actually did wait, that got with her and married her, said that the sex was trash. So I dodged that bullet.
So, all right. So that leads me to my next question for the ladies, and I'll start with Jessica, go with Catherine and Mo. Is sex a deal breaker for you?
I don't know. I'm actually in a situation right now that I'm trying to figure out. So I don't know.
All right, this lifetime. I'm talking about marriage.
See, and there's the thing.
I don't know. Like, maybe they could learn.
Hold on, Big Rich. We're gonna let the women go, and we're gonna comment in a second. I'm gonna go around.
I don't know if you remember. I'm sorry. You still on me, or you on move to Rich?
No. I want the women to answer. That's why I'm going women. Then I'm gonna go to men to comment. But you said you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember. I called you a couple weeks ago, and I paid for a session. Well, that person, like, we linked back up, and it was like so long anticipated, and he's got a small dick. So I don't know. I'm gonna see how it works out the second time. But it's been nothing but like 5-star dates and high-end restaurants and luxury, for months. So I'm looking forward to this.
Hey, you gotta compensate for the small dick, I guess. Okay, so I guess.
I'm trying to see. I'm really upset about it. So.
Well, let's show the expectations, man.
All right, Catherine, is sex a deal breaker for you? I think it is, because you want to see it. So.
Yeah, it is. It plays, because I think that's important. That is important for me, because I do enjoy sex, and I don't want a man that can't please me. Now, if he's not that good in bed, I'm gonna try to work with him. I'm just not gonna just cut the dude off like, okay, because I'm gonna see if we can work, and if we just can't work around and it don't never get no better, no, I'm not staying. Because then I know it's gonna be other men that's gonna approach me, and I'm gonna be wondering about that man, what he can do, because mine ain't doing enough. So I would I just leave.
That's being honest.
All right,
That's how I feel too.
Mo, is sex a deal breaker?
Like the devil on that one. Go ahead, Mo.
Sex a deal breaker. So I would say first we would have to go ahead and try everything under the sun. Because if I'm just saying, oh, that sucked, well, if I'm not enjoying it, then we're going to have to move around, change the, you know what I mean? I don't want to get too graphic, but I think it would be enjoyable. But if we just can't get no type of enjoyment from it at all, then I guess we're going to be friends. So, yes, I guess it is a deal breaker. After we put forth some effort.
Oh, man. All right, well, back to the guys now. Is sex a deal breaker for you, Rich? If it's trash or not?
Man, there ain't no doubt. There's no doubt. I mean, I'm just being real. The thing about it is, I'm not a monogamous person to begin with. So there's no problem with me just saying that, well, I just don't want to go back down that road with this individual here anymore, because I'm usually dealing with 2 or 3 women at the time anyway. But if we're not connecting like that, and that's what I wanted to ask the young lady that said that she was dealing with a situation there for a while and she's trying to figure it out. That's the question I wanted to pose to her. Why are you still trying to figure it out? If it don't work for you.
Well, it's only happened once. We've dated for a while, and we finally just crossed the bridge of sex.
Okay.
It was one, and it was pleasurable, like in other ways.
Okay. Well, then if that's the case, then I understand it completely. Then if it was pleasurable in other ways, and you all have had some time invested, that means a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because there's something else there. There's a foundation there that you're working off of. So I get that.
Okay.
It's almost a double-edged sword. Like, if I probably would have did it sooner, then I wouldn't be facing such a huge dilemma, you know?
Right.
But now you got all these emotions for somebody, and you're like, I don't even know if it was this sex or if I was just emotional about it, you know?
And it could be to where you were nervous. It could be to where you just weren't present because you had all these things built up in your head how you thought it would be. And it just
No, it was a small dick. It's not that complicated. It was definitely a small dick.
If you feel that adamantly about it and it's like that, then maybe you do need to move on there because you're going to, like the other young lady said, you're going to be encountering other people. Can you really be honest with yourself? Now, this isn't a judgment call on your character, but can you really be faithful to somebody like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what if they, like I said, the first time is always like, so I'm like, I don't know, maybe he got some other tricks. Like, people usually know what they're working with before you do. You feel me? So I'm like, maybe he got some other tricks or something that's going to come out the bag and make it okay.
No doubt. I wish you the best with that. I wish you the best.
Thank you.
I mean, I think women, y'all should pick up on when a man got good dick energy, period.
Yeah. He got a big energy, but he just don't have the,
All right.
But
I mean, it's a such thing called good dick energy, or big dick energy, whatever you want to call it. But I think it's a man should know if he got good dick energy, period.
He may have had a bad day. We'll see what happens next.
He might blow your back out next week.
I'll comment on the post.
We don't always bat 1,000.
Well, what you got, Mike?
Man,
is there sex a deal breaker for you?
The comments in it, that shit is a deal breaker for me, man. Like shit, man. If she ain't working what she needs to be working with, man, I don't know. I'd have to find someplace else to go, man. I'd have to go in another hole or some shit for real. She ain't working with nothing, and she ain't really trying to put that down in there. And let me work her real good, show I'm no rookie, then fuck it. I have to move on. That's a deal breaker for me. As a man, I have to assert my dominance into her and let her know to say no fucking game. I'm gonna put it on you.
But I'm just saying, if she didn't lay there like a starfish, it's a wrap, right?
Oh no, it's a wrap. I would tell her, hey, look, something came up, you gotta go, or just I'd have to end it right there. Send her back. All
right. So the next thing I want to ask y'all, anybody got any more comments before I move on from this topic? I think y'all good. All right. So the next thing I'm gonna ask y'all is, if you do find a partner or you deal with somebody, how many times a week you should average sex? I'm gonna ask the women, how many times a week you think you're doable for sex? And I'll start with Catherine.
I don't have no time limit, man. It's just me, not to share so much, but it wouldn't matter, with me, I'm good. I do it as many times as you want.
Oh shit, that's
just me.
That's some Texas girl.
Yeah, I don't put no limit. I'm about pleasing my man. So if we got that vibe and we together, I ain't gonna be like, nah, I don't feel like it. If he can get it up, then we can do it.
Damn.
I'm talking about.
Well, I'm blessed for me, sis.
All right, Mo, what about you?
Exactly. I was over here on mute saying exactly, but yeah, I think that it's whenever we want to, because if you sit up there and say 2-3 times a week, first of all, that's too planned. That seems too routine where you just want to enjoy it all. Say, okay, Monday and Friday or 3 times. It's gonna be whenever we in the mood.
So you just be in the mood all the time, like Catherine, huh? You just want to please your man, huh?
Shit.
Yeah, we don't want to please each other.
All right. What about you, Jessica? What you got?
I'm with her. It's got to be spontaneous. I would not like to be asked that question personally, because it's just the turn. It's just that question.
But I'm just saying, in general, what would you can expect? Because you control sex. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it just depends on the vibe. It just depends on what y'all build together. Like, how often do we find ourselves at the same time? And if we don't, you can't throw a temper tantrum about it, And that's it. Like, sometimes it's 5 times a week. Sometimes it's twice, It just depends on who it is and what y'all building together.
All right, so I'm gonna ask the man the same question. I'm gonna start with Mike. What you think? What you think? Whenever you get up, you should get it, or what? Are you realistic about it because it's working, or what? What you got, Mike?
Man, let me just say this: if I see her, she dressed right, or I just got like that animal instinct in me at that time, man, I ain't even gonna ask her. I'm gonna just take it. I'm be like, yo, wait right there. All right, today gonna work your ass real quick. You know what I'm saying? Fucking, it's gonna be like an in and out robbery, but it ain't gonna be too fast. It's gonna be a slow robbery, slow motion, y'all.
All right, what you got, Rich? What you got? She gotta be ready. She gotta be ready for you, Rich. Whenever you ready, or what's going on with your time on it on
Well,
average?
man, here go the thing. I really vibe with what Jessica was saying. There's not, you can't put a time period on things, man, because me, I'm a busy man. Okay, I'm hella in love with my paper. Mm-hmm. So I'm out there chasing, I'm out there grinding, man, doing my thing. So a lot of times we may not have sex that week. I do think sex is important, and we may end up getting our schedules in sync to where we may have 5 times that one week, and we may only have 2 times. But sometime, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not a priority with me because I'm a little older now. And I got other priorities and things. It's not the end all be all. I do think it's necessary for a healthy relationship, man, but I can't put a time or a frequency amount on it because then it does. Now, if you want a successful relationship, it's got to be somewhat regular.
Okay.
But to put a time on it, brother, I really can't do that because, like I said, man, I'm hella in love with my paper more than I am with my job. I got to go get that.
All right, so I'm the next question I'm gonna start with Catherine. Should you withhold sex from your man, or have you ever held sex from your dude or your husband or whatever?
Should you withhold sex from him?
Yeah.
I don't think that you should, but I mean, if you're not getting along or something going on, if there's an issue or something going on where it depends on the person. I just think it depends.
Have you played that? Have you played that card before? That's what I'm asking.
No, like I won't withhold it just to be not to be just because I'm upset or something. No, I wouldn't do it that way. But some certain depending on what's going on, I wouldn't just keep doing it just because I'm mad. I'm about to, like I'm gonna do it like in a revengeful way. Like withhold sex, no, I wouldn't do that.
All right. What about you? What about you, Mo?
I wouldn't say you should, but have I? I have, and because that was a sticky relationship, so which eventually ended. But yes, I have, but I wouldn't say you should just to play games or gain leverage or something.
So when you did it deliberately, what made you give it back up? If he was on some, and
No, I'm saying by the time I started withholding it, that was pretty much the beginning of the end. So we didn't re-engage in sex again. It was just started with withholding before the relationship ended. Okay.
All right, Jessica, have you ever withheld sex from a man, or would you use that against him, or what's going on?
I wouldn't use that against them. I wouldn't do it like for revenge, but I do feel like like if you are in a bad space, like I feel like our culture, people my age of 30, like we've romanticized like hate sex and makeup sex, and you know what I mean? Like that energy, like it's just not good. When you are having sex with somebody, like you are creating, like the flow for the rest of your relationship. And I just don't think it's attractive to play with. Like, and if I'm upset, then I'm not, it's like Maslow's hierarchy. It's like, you got to eat, you got to be safe, and I have to like not be pissed off in order to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just think that's the way it should be. I don't think people should be like fucking each other.
And then this one thing I told my ex-wife, don't go to sleep mad. So basically she's saying don't withhold sex in so many words. Like you going to get to the root of this shit. And if the man wanna lay it down at night, then let him lay it down. Because at the end of the day, when you go to work the whole day, because my ex-wife used to do that shit. it used to throw my whole fucking day off. Like, she mad at me, turn her back on me, and then the next day I go to work, like, I gotta be worried about psychologically what's going on at home and trying to focus at work on top of driving to work. Life is too short to be playing pussy games. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's just how I feel, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm gonna start with Rich on this one. Would you step out on your woman if she withhold sex from you or anybody in your rotation, Rich? Because he got rotation.
I can't say that I would step out on anyone because I believe in being upfront and honest above anything, man. But if a woman ever weaponizes her vagina against me, she will be dismissed immediately. It's not a thing about me going behind her back to say, okay, well, if you ain't gonna give it to me, I'll get it somewhere else. It's not even an issue that I'm gonna argue with you about. If you're just telling me you're not in the mood, or if I see that you acting like, cause all the time, man, let's face it, man, all the time, sometimes people just don't be feeling like it. And if she ain't feeling it, hey, that's cool once or twice, but when you get to weaponizing it against me, at that point, you just automatically dismiss, man, because I got other things to do. And I'm not going to play any games, man. I'm too old for playing games, man.
For real, you right. All right, Mike, what you got? Would you step out if somebody...
I wouldn't step out on her. I would just become detached until to the point to where I'm completely gone. Because, you know, we're adults here. And if somebody wants to, like Big Rich said, if you want to weaponize and use your pussy as a weapon or a tool against me, your weapon is worthless to a man. I have the dick, therefore I wield the power. You know what I'm saying? If I'm wielding my dick and I'm wielding the power, the same way you should go ahead and get your shit, I'm going to go somewhere else. And I'm going to kindly press my kingdom into her, fucking on her premises. I'm going to land on my shit and plant my flag on her lawn. I'm going to plant my shit. Go somewhere else with it because nobody has time to be fucking saying, well, since you feeling this way, I'm just not going to give you any pussy. Well, fine. Fuck you, bitch. I'm out. I ain't got to deal with that shit next. And I will go off to the next spot. No disrespect to the ladies out here, but to be honest with you, real women don't play that shit. Girls do. Men, we go somewhere else. We're not going to play that game with you. A real woman's going to be like, well, look, I love that man. I'm not going to use my pussy to go ahead and weaponize it and use against this man, especially if I'm rocking with him. Only little girls do that shit.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. If a woman use that game on me, I feel like, even though I was married, and that was when I was on some beta shit, but now I'm on a different level now. If a woman play that game on me, it's a wrap.
Because he was kind of passionate. Like, what does that mean, weaponizing to you specifically? Like,
it's a
weaponizing. You try to use that to us as a weakness to make us conform to whatever bullshit that individual wants to use against us. Just like it's saying,
just like the have you ever heard of the, well, everybody heard this. If you got a man pussy whoop, that mean just like off of what was that, Boomerang? And he told
Mark, you can't get that confused with you are not doing what you should be doing within the relationship, or maybe she's not doing what she should be doing, and there's strife within the relationship. If there's no sex happening under tense circumstances, that is not weaponizing.
Yeah, but if it's deliberate, because it's some women that will bait you in for the sex and then switch on your ass. Because she's seeking survival, she's seeking your presence or seeking your validation. And a lot of women play manipulation games. Don't get it twisted. I mean, maybe y'all three don't do that, but it's women out there that they sole purpose is to suck a nigga's soul and get him inside, and then once he gets inside, she flip on him. Women do that shit.
Well, like this too. Take the answer, Jessica. Is if a dude came to you, right? I want to use this as an example. If a dude came to you and you was stealing him, you know what I'm saying? Everything that you was doing was good. Y'all rocking with each other. Y'all rocking, y'all rolling. Everything's going good, right? And something came up and you just couldn't do it for that split second, for that small tell you, hey, man, if you can't do this, man, oh, I ain't giving you no dick, man. And you say, hey, babe, you know, what's going on? You know, you give him rock hard. He knocking off shells with his dick. You know what I'm saying? You can't even go through the Walgreens with the shit pointing out. And he's just like, you like, hey, let's go at it when we get home. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to let you tear me out. And he goes, nah, I don't feel like it. I ain't giving you no sex because you didn't, you know what I'm saying? You didn't buy me that fucking, you know, that blunt wrap or whatever. Like, whatever. You didn't buy me whatever. And I would use that. That's weaponizing. Like, I'm going to use one of the things that you enjoy the most or whatever out of our relationship. And since I know that you want it, since I know that we do that on the regular, I'm going to turn around and use that shit on you just because I didn't get my way.
Yeah, not because you didn't get your way, but yeah, it is circumstantial like that. I think that was like a bad example, but let's say you own a home and the HOA keep fucking putting signs on the door because this nigga won't cut the grass. Like, I mean, I'm not keep putting signs on my fucking door. I'm not happy. I'm not in the mood. Get the fuck away from me. Figure out how to get me in the mood. And that will probably start with cutting the fucking grass. And that's, you know what I'm saying? Like a bubble gum wrap or whatever you said, a blunt wrap or whatever, that's childish. But certain things do affect the way that you are living on a day-to-day basis with one another.
Yeah, but that's saying like,
if I'm not getting what I want, then I'm not giving you everything that you want, especially not when you want it.
That's like a cause and effect thing, though. But you say like, okay, like if he didn't cut that grass, and you don't know his situation as to why he can't cut that grass.
It don't matter. If y'all live together and they're steadily, if it's an ongoing situation and it's a responsibility that you signed up for that you are not taking care of, that's a problem.
Well, I'm gonna say this. We're gonna get to that in just a second because that's the last question on my list. But anything you want to add what Mike said, Rich? You good?
I just, hey man, what him and her Jessica just talking about just now, that's in that analogy about the lawn care and the HOA thing. If it's a situation like that, you got a lot more problems than a little bit.
Yeah.
The grass not being cut is just a symptom of something else going on in the relationship.
Right. So that's why I said you got to figure that out. Like,
okay.
Communication.
So I'm gonna start
at that point that we're not gonna do too much communicating at that point because there's so much wrong with it. It's almost time to blow that up.
Yeah, but I'm gonna start. Look here, I'm gonna start with.
You know that you would rather blow something up than cut the grass, though. You see how men think like that?
Hey.
No. Sorry, you misunderstood me. I was saying that the grass being cut is just a minor symptom. If a nigga ain't cutting the grass, he got something else going on with him. And
like why you not taking care of your home?
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So there's a bigger problem there.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about just walking out on it, but apparently that's been going on for a while. And like you said, it affects your way of life. So yeah, it's time to blow that up.
So, but that brings me to my last question for the woman and man. The last thing for the women, I'm gonna start with Jessica because she was talking about cutting the grass. And we'll go around with Catherine and Mo. Could you live with a man before marriage? Or should you live with a man before marriage?
I could, and I think it's a double. I don't know about should or whatever. I think it just depends on the people. But I could. I have. But because I know that I would need my own space. Like I need my own closet for my own clothes. You know, I could do it, but we would have to like compromise.
Better have an edge for that damn grass too, goddamn.
All right, Catherine, can you live with a man before marriage?
I've done it in the past, so at this point in my life, I wouldn't want to do it anymore. I mean, I just think that if I would do it once we get married.
All right.
I don't want nobody.
What about you, Mo?
I've been there. I done lived with too many men that I wasn't married with, and I'm good. I don't want to do it no more. I just would rather wait until we married and then do it. I'd rather for the person to stay in their place. I stay in mine while we dating, and then we can come together after that.
Even if he cut the grass?
Yeah, even if he cut the grass.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
All right, Mo.
And that could just be from my experience.
What you got, Mo? Can you can you live with a man before marriage?
Well, I would say first I want to talk about that grass for a second. I think that you could get some dude on the block, some little boy that needs some extra allowance money or something to cut your grass. No, but as far as that, I prefer not to live with a man before marriage. I have lived with a dude before, but I don't want to shack up. That's what I call it. That's what some people call it. I don't want to shack up.
All right.
You could get a little boy to cut the grass, but it's his responsibility. I'm not doing it. I'm not soliciting. I'm not paying. Like, you take care of it. However you take care of it.
Okay.
Yeah, he can get somebody to go get it. If he don't want to do it, go get somebody to do it.
Rich, what you got? What you got on that topic? Rich, you think people should live together before marriage?
I don't think they should. I think you know, and then probably you can't get it because of the way I am, but I think it is living in sin. But see, me, even if I was to say I would get married again, my wife would still have to occupy her own dwelling. There's no woman that can occupy a dwelling with me because I'm a kind of a hard taskmaster to live with, and things have to be just so. And no, I think we see each other a little bit too much. Okay. If a woman occupied the same space I'm in, so yeah, no, I don't think that it's a good thing. I think that's what happens a lot of times. People in each other's face a little bit too much, and they don't have anywhere that they can go in solitude to get their thoughts together or get that. There's certain times of the month for women that they don't necessarily, they're not the best. It's not that they're not the best company, but sometimes they need to be alone with their thoughts and be with themselves. Men have the same kind of things going on. Sometimes you just have to have your fortress of solitude, like Superman, and you got to get away and go into that space and not have anything else flooring that disrupts that peace, man. So, no, I don't think it's cool.
Facts. All right, Mike, what you got? You live with a woman before marriage?
Yeah. First of all, I want to say, you know what I'm saying, the ladies that be like, hey, yo, you could just get some boy off the block. Nigga ain't got no tools to cut that grass. How you expect that grass to get cut, y'all? So, hold on, I'm just saying, you know, you got to have certain kind of tools for certain kind of situations. Me, I prefer the lawnmower and the edger, but the thing is, when I'm in my own space, I don't think that it's good for me to actually be living with someone or have somebody living with me before I get married. I tried it before, it didn't work. When you really get to see how that person lives, their habits of what they do, sometimes it might be a little bit too overbearing to deal with. Me, I'm a jokey kind of guy, but I keep my shit clean. On the other hand, if I see shit, you know, on the floor or something that just annoys me to a point, I know at that point I should have taken longer. And I agree with Rich. It takes time to really to get to know that person and to be living with them. And sometimes, you know, we need our own space. You know, as people, you know, we are creatures of habit, and we have to, you know, live within proximity of each other. We love company. We're social. And at the same time, we need our place of peace to recharge and think and be more at peace rather than be up underneath each other and, you know, really getting on each other's nerves. So I think, you know, before you get married, no, I don't think that's a good idea. I learned my lesson from that twice.
Well, I'll say when you learn your lessons from it, some people get damaged from it. That thing needs therapy sometimes, because when I was married, my ex-wife had lived with two dudes before she got with me, and she was the first first woman that I lived with. So I was like real excited. I was ready to have sex every day. I was doing all kind of crazy shit, but for her, she was not even excited because she lived with in-house dick and in-house boyfriends. And it kind of like, unfortunately, it kind of like messed up the newness of it. So for me, I could not live with a woman until I know that it's going to be marriage or something like that. But for me, I couldn't do it. I feel like a lot of times, if you want to like get to know how a person lives, because a lot of people say you don't know how they live. Well, you take weekends, you go to her house, weekends she come over to your house. Then y'all figure out if y'all could be living around each other, because it is what it is. I do like my space, but I feel like if it's gonna happen, you gotta make something to look forward to. you know, because once you do it all together, you jump into situationships by living together, then you feel like, oh, she's here, she's paying half or she's paying a certain amount. I can sit here and go buy this car. And then you stop liking her. She moved up her expenses. You move up your expenses. Y'all get used to each other's. Then y'all in situationship because y'all moved in because it was comfortable. And then now y'all sitting here don't want to break apart because it's going to be harder on y'all finances. And that's another thing about being equally yoked that does matter in the end. Because a lot of times, let's just face it, a lot of times people are looking for relationships, but a lot of times people are looking for help too. So don't, like, men, women, y'all out there, motherfucker want to move in with you real quick. You know, just take your time. Don't let that shit happen because they really trying to look for probably some help. They ain't looking for no relationship.
That's a red flag.
Shit.
Yeah. I feel like, why the fuck you want to move in for? You plan on moving my shit out when I'm not there? Like, nah, you don't. Get your own tools to cut your own fucking lawn.
But relationships are, and unfortunately, what Jessica said about the lawn getting cut, you know, don't be like Puff Daddy. Your fucking baby mama start fucking the garden boy.
Trying to hang a little young tenderoni down the street.
For real. That dude walking around the damn lawn, walking around with his shirt off, cutting people grass, and you ain't cutting the grass. She mad at you. He cut the grass and get some ass.
Play, better go play. Go sit down.
All right. But yeah, tomorrow we're gonna come back right back. Tomorrow we're gonna come back about 6:00 tomorrow on Eastern time. So it'd be like, I guess it's gonna be like 2:00 for the West Coast, 5:00 for the Central, and 6:00 Eastern. So tomorrow I'm gonna come back right back 6:00. Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna come back 5:00 because I don't need to get this shit over early on Sunday, y'all. But tomorrow we're gonna talk about what a man and a woman should and should not be. You know, and I got some crazy questions of what a woman should be or what a man should be, and we're gonna go back and forth. I want my boy. Hopefully you free Big Rich. Them Browns out the playoffs. Them Browns season over just like my Bears. So I hope you free tomorrow, Big Rich. I need you on this one, man.
Hey, man, I'll be back, brother. I appreciate you having me on. I'll be back tomorrow, 5:00. It's on.
Okay. So anybody got anything to add on anything? You know, I'm gonna watch y'all go around the panel. I'll start with the ladies first. Jessica, you got anything you want to add on the topic? You know, women are the gatekeepers of sex, men are the gatekeepers of marriage. You know, anything you want to say that if you feel like the quality, well, I didn't get a chance to ask you what qualities to make you a wife. You want to express that before you get off here?
No, I'm good.
Okay, that's cool. All right. What about you, Mo? You got anything you want to add?
Yeah, first I want to say thank you as always. I appreciate you on the panel, but I did want to say that as far as the last topic, living with the person before marriage, I know 2 married couples right now that live in 2 different dwellings, so that's a real thing. But yeah, I'm glad that you have this platform for us. So thank you.
All right, I appreciate you coming in. You know, I hope you come back tomorrow. We're gonna be talking about what a man should be and what a man and a woman should and should not be. So basically, we're gonna be talking about the good things about a man and a woman and the bad things about a man and a woman. And I think this is a good conversation for people to understand what's going on with the spectrum of dating and what type of man you should be picking. Because a lot of times I hear guys complain about the woman they pick, their baby mama or ex-wife. But dude, she showed you the red flags. But you know, that's a different story for tomorrow. All right, Catherine, you got anything you want to say to the to everybody before you get off?
I know that every time I come on, we have this, that I learn something new. So I do appreciate that, because just listening to Rich today and his perspective on things just give me a eye opener on how men think. So it's the so that was good to hear. So I appreciate being here, just learning. So I'm learning. So I never take anything, and I don't get offended and stuff. I just really be trying to get clarification on how someone thinks, because we all are different. We all got our own feelings, and we all gonna move different. We don't all move the same. So I just take it as a learning experience. So
Okay.
yeah.
Ain't no big deal. You did a good job. You a good sport every time. You get a little mad though. You get a little chippy sometimes though, but it's all good.
Don't be mad.
Don't cut my man Rich. Don't cut Rich. Don't cut Rich. It's all good though. All right. Mike, you got something you want to say, man?
I just want to thank the panel. I just want to thank everybody for being here today. It definitely taught us how to learn from one another. Stacks, I just want to say, man, thank you for your panel. Thank you for your show, man. You created all the real good topics that could lead us on forever in the day. Most of all, I just want to say, ladies, thank you for participating. Big Rich, thank you for co-starring and joining. I just want to say I love all of y'all. May blessings and peace be on to y'all. Stay prayed up. While y'all leave your doors every day when y'all wake up. You know, most of all, I just want to say to the man that's not known, you got to cut your fucking grass, or you're going to come across Jessica. She's going to put a foot in your ass. Like that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I just want to say I love y'all. Stay prayed up. Thank y'all for joining in and, you know, for many more shows to come.
I'll see you tomorrow, Mike. 5 o'clock, man.
Much love, Mike.
All right. What you got, Rich? What you want to say to everybody before you get off this?
Hey, brother, like I said, thank you for having me on the panel, man. I appreciate it. Mike, you know what it is, brother. We'll get on down tomorrow with it. And all you ladies that was on the panel today, I really, really appreciate your viewpoint. I appreciate your perspective and your honesty. Okay, that's one thing that I really hold in high esteem is honesty, because I'm honest. If I'm nothing else, I'm honest. So I please hope that y'all will not be too mad at me. Be forgiving of me. Pray for me because I need it. But I appreciate y'all dialogue. I appreciate Stack putting it out here for us. And peace and blessings to all of y'all. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Good night, Rich, man.
And you too.
All right. So tomorrow we're going to come in with what a woman and a man should and should not be. You know, we basically going to come in here tomorrow and talk about that. And it's going to be deep. You know, I got some real heavy hitter questions on 10 things a woman should be, 10 things a woman should not be. Same thing for a man. So if you're a man on your purpose and you're trying to learn to be a grown ass man and not a boy, you need to be here. And if you're a woman that's not trying to be, you know, you want to be a real woman that's walking as a wife, you need to be here tomorrow. So we definitely going to be talking about that and breaking it down, because I think sometimes when we flash the mirror in front of ourselves, we realize what we got to work on, and nobody's perfect and everybody needs help. And that's why we're here to try to help somebody to hear this and make change for the better, not for the worse. So at the end of the day, nothing happens unless you make it happen. And to get something you never had before, you got to do something that you never did. And that's what this platform is about, is teaching people to do something that they never done before to change their life. So with that being said, I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow. All right. Peace. Peace, y'all. What up? She over there talking.